Chapter 7. The City Hall Records. The sun hung high and unrelenting as Arthur parked near the town's small city hall, its white stucco walls reflecting the midday heat. A large tree shaded the entrance, where a rusted metal sign creaked slightly in the breeze. He hadn't gone back to the ranch after leaving that morning. Something about waking up in that house, in that silence, made his skin crawl. He had left without breakfast, without coffee, without thinking. Now, standing before the city hall doors, he realized he wasn't entirely sure what he was looking for. But he had a feeling the answers were here. Inside, the air was thick with dust, the scent of old paper. Lingering in the quiet space, metal filing cabinets lined the walls, and their labels yellowed with time. A woman at the front desk barely glanced up as he entered. Arthur approached, clearing his throat. "I was hoping to look at some property records," he said. The woman gave him a tired look. "You're not from around here?" "No." She sighed, pushing a worn ledger book across the counter. "You can start here. The archives go back long, but they're a mess." Arthur nodded, flipping the book open. The records stretched over 2 centuries, detailing land ownership, disputes, and development in the area. He skimmed over the pages until he found what he was looking for: the ranch. Or rather, the land the ranch was built on. His frown deepened as he read. The ranch predated the town itself. The oldest records he could find dated back to Mexican independence, when the town had officially been established. And more unsettling, the ranch had never been sold, not once. In over 200 years, has ownership changed hands through anything other than inheritance, passed down through generations. Arthur felt a knot tighten in his stomach as he flipped through more pages, searching for any clue about the chapel. Then he found it. The chapel was built decades later, accompanied by a construction order. It was a late addition, not originally part of the ranch. Beneath the construction order was another record, the date the chapel was officially blessed. Arthur's pulse quickened. It indicated an attempt to cleanse something. If the chapel hadn't always been there, what had existed before it? What had happened on the land before they tried to sanctify it? Arthur leaned back in his chair, rubbing his temples. He needed more information. Scanning the following few records, he searched for significant events related to the ranch. That's when he stumbled upon the family dispute. 2 brothers, Esteban and Cervantes Esquivel, fighting over the land. One had died far from the ranch, while the other remained. Arthur's fingers tightened around the paper. What about the chapel that had burned down? He quickly flipped through the pages, looking for documentation about the fire and what had happened. But there was nothing. There were no official records of the chapel burning down, as if the fire had never been documented. Arthur exhaled sharply. The records didn't tell the whole story. It wasn't right. A fire should have been reported. Someone must have erased the record. Or perhaps it had never been written down in the first place. A prickling sensation crept over his skin. What had the last woman to live at the ranch written? "I pray this land does not claim them like it has claimed the others." How many others had been lost before them? The locked basement door. Arthur shut the ledger, his thoughts dark and tangled. Something was missing, something crucial. Then, a memory crept in uninvited. The locked door in the basement. He had nearly forgotten about it. On the first morning he spent at the ranch, a strange herbal scent seeped from beneath the door, filling the hallway with an earthy, unfamiliar aroma. the only door in the entire house that wouldn't open. His skin crawled at the realization. Had the last resident locked something inside or locked something out? Arthur clenched his jaw. He needed to get into that basement. There were too many missing pieces. Whatever was happening at the ranch, it all started there. The chapel, the fire, the disappearances. And if he wanted answers, that was where he had to look next.